No, this is just an example. The Hamza comes by itself sometimes. The Hamza comes after the Ya. Okay? So it's just to show you that for the most part, the Hamza comes riding on an alif. For the most part, it rides upon a waw. And for the most part, you see it sometimes when it says an even Ya, not as much as the alif in the waw, you'll see it on the Ya. Like imri'in, a person. Or you see amanu. All the time you see that one. And all the time iman. Or you see mu'min. You see it like this. And there's rules for that we'll get to later. There's rules for that. They're specific, and that's in Rasmi, how to write it out. For example, it'll always be over a waw if the sound preceding it is a dhamma or the letter itself is a dhamma. Like mu'min. The waw is there only because the preceding sound was a dhamma for the hamza. Like you see like this. Mu'min. Then you put a hamza there. For example, fu'ad. Fu'ad. See that? Fu'ad. Heart. So that's no problem. And that here is like that. Fu'ad. So you learn these different rules. And it's on the ya when it comes with a kasra. And if it precedes with a fatha or it precedes the sentence, it's always on an alif. Or it's in the middle of a sentence and it's preceded with an alif, like yas'aluna or sukoon. These rules are simple. They sound confusing right now, and I don't want to confuse you. It's something real easy. We got a poem for it. That you learn when you get to that point. And that's why we went over poetry, because the scholars use a lot of children poetry to help people learn these things. It's not just, something that I came up with. It's something that you find the ulama doing. Okay, so here we have it. While Hamza, as it seems to need a tad more of a sharh, it rides upon the alifun, the waw, and even ya. Shiddatun wa jahrun, samtun istifal, fathun describes alifun and one is numeral. Here, it goes through the same sifat that it mentioned earlier. Shiddatun with jahrun, strong and loud. Samtun istifal, restraint and being low. Fathun, opening, describes, instead of saying sifat, he wrote describes, almost mimicking verbatim that first line where it describes the sifat, and one, it's numeral. Every letter has a numeric value. Let's go to the next line. Let's go to the next word. Okay, the next word is ba. Ba is the second letter in the word abjad or abu jad, right? Ba. Jahrun, take the whole thing up, please. Jahrun wa shiddat, two sifatun shared by ba. Like istifal and infita, it's numeral ithnan. When ba, the letter shows up right after a noon, sakina or tanwiran, iqlabun is the rune, with qalqala resounding loud. Come on, let's hear it. With dalakun fly off the lips, its makhrij is the same. With dalakun resounding loud, the ba better shout its name. That's why it's lovely to do poetry, because when you mess up, you know something's wrong, something ain't right. Okay? So, go back to the beginning. Please go back to the beginning. Okay, here. Jahrun with shidda, two sifatun shared by ba. Here now he starts off with the sifat of the letter. What is jahrun? Loud. So here we have ba. Everybody say ibba. Ibba. You see your lips coming together? If you do it too weak or you put it at the edge of your lips, it'll sound like a P. Okay? So it has to be on the inner part of your lips. Ibba. But not on the dakhliya, not all the way on the side. So it's like right between the outside and the inside. That middle part. Okay? And if you go on the outer side, it's P. Everybody say P. Ip. You see it's more closer to the edge? Now say ib. You see it's more in the middle. You feel the difference? Note it. You use these letters every day. You should exactly know where you're coming from with the sound. And he says, jahrun with shidda. What is shidda? Strength. So you come out with the ba, loud and strong. Okay? Two sifatun shared by ba. Why does he say shared by ba? Because these are two sifat that you find in alif. Loud and strong, while low restrained. Opening, sifat. The alif comes along with mud, just following a fact. So he says, jahrun with shidda, two sifatun shared by ba. Just like istifal and infital, it's numeral ithnan. Referring back to the last one. Okay? Just like istifal. Istifal is an alif, right? And infitah. What is infitah? Opening. It's fathun. Don't get stuck on stupid. What I mean by that? Some people get tied around their axle. Oh, you said fat. You said isfad. It's Arabic. It's Arabic. The point is still the same. They may say istifal, he may say suflan. It means the same. Get used to the root word to denote what is meant and what is implied by the meaning here. So jahrun and shidda, there are two sifat that are in bad that are also in alif. You will hear that again. Just like istifal, which is what? Being low. Say ib. Where's your tongue? Now infitah, you have to open your mouth. Say ib and don't open your mouth. You had to open it. If you don't open it, you won't get a sound. Because the sound of ba is born after separation. I mean, after being come together, then it has to separate. Say ib. You see that? You had to come together and then come apart. So learn where each sound, exactly how it comes, because when you do this, you'll know what you're doing. And at first, it's kind of difficult because you're thinking about it a lot. But, you know, as we talk about it in tajweed, it's one of the sciences that the ilm of it is never going to be separated from the amal. The knowledge of it can never be separated from the practicality or the action of it. You know, because you can't find somebody who says, well, I studied, I read all the books, yes, I listened to all the lectures, but have you ever done it? Well, then no, you don't know what you're talking. We don't even know if you know how to do it. Because here, the knowledge has to be followed by the practice of it with the same teachers till you get to completion. And that's why we don't have many teachers of tajweed from up here. Because most of us, one of the things that we're lacking is consistency to finish the lesson. So we go and study Quran with somebody, then when that person goes back home, we're stuck. Where do I get my next lessons from? But since we didn't learn any rules, we got to start again at the beginning, which is depressing. You know, it's discouraging. But if we learn some rules, then we can pick up and go pick up some more rules until we get to completion. So now we have some rules, inshallah. So we have jahrun and shiddatu sifatun shared by ba, like istifal and infitah. Infitah is open that mouth. It's numeral ithnan. What does ithnan mean? Two. So if alif is 1, ba is 2. Right? When ba, the letter shows up right after a noon. Now we're talking about its sifat and its and when min sifatillaha wa mustahaq haqqahu wa mustahaqqahu. So the letter has a haqq. The haqq of the letter is what we previously mentioned. Now the mustahaq of a letter are those things tied to the letter, the rights of that letter when it's mixed up with another letter. The main letter that all the letters go around is noon. That is the main letter, or tanween. Okay? So he says here, when ba, the letter, shows up, like it's a personality, right after a noon, even if that noon is sakina, noon is sakina means it's a noon that has a sukoon over it. It doesn't have a vowel sound. Say an, in, un. That's what we're talking about. Or tanweena. And he means by that tanweenan. But because of the knuckle of warsh, and it's a thing in Arabic, you see, he moved the last sound to the next letter, playing with the language, which is allowed. So he says, if the tanween now is the sound of noon without writing the letter noon. Okay? So it's the same sound. So even if you hear the noon sound, sakina or tanweenan, iqlabun is the rule. What's the rule for ba? Iqlab. What is it? Iqlab. Iqlab. Not niqlab, that's just playing with the word iqlab. And iqlab is not the point of my class here to teach you what those words mean, iqlab wa idhar, to a great definition. No, it's to familiarize yourself. When you go to tajweed, then you learn what iqlab is, dabtan, meticulously, exactly. Here you just learn that ba is tied to iqlab when you deal with that letter, okay? With dhalaqun, now he's giving you some other sifat. You know what he did? He separated the sifat that have adad, the ones that have opposites, from the ones that don't have opposites. In the beginning, he gave you the sifat that had opposites. Go back up to the beginning of the poem. He said, jahrun wa shiddatu sifatun shared by ba, like istifal and infitah. Those four have what? Now go down. Then he said, dhalaqun. Dhalaqun is one of the sifat that we learned that does not have opposite. What does dhalaqun mean? What does it mean when we say a letter is dhalaqun? That means it's a type of letter. It's a type that comes off the tongue, or the edge of the tongue, or at the other side of the teeth. So it's not backed up, it's not bouncing like cough or calf. It has to come from the whole mouth bouncing the sound out. Where the ba, it's at the edges, boom, it flies out.